pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Call this meeting of West Burlington City Council to order. Roll call, please.
Crowner.
Here.
Raleigh.
Here.
Stewart.
Here.
Lees.
Here.
West.
Here.
To perfect and approve the agenda.
So moved. Support.
Motion with support. Any discussion? Roll call.
Raleigh.
Aye.
Stewart.
Aye.
Lees.
Aye.
West.
Aye.
Crowner.
Aye.
Motion carried. Consent agenda.
Motion to approve is presented. Support.
Motion with support to approve consent agenda items 1 through 11, which are the minutes of the regular city council meeting on March 20th, 2013. Taxi renewal for executive transportation, a liquor license renewal for Southeastern Community College, approve Fire Chief Himes' attendance at the National Fire Academy, accept a letter of retirement from Fire Department Captain Thomas Canfield, approve Sandry Fire Supply, approve payment to Quad City Analytical Services, approve a payment to Saffron Morpho Track, approve a payment to Electrical Engineering and Equipment, approve the clerk's monthly financial report for February 2013, and approve the claims list as presented in the amount of $131,857.40, and that breaks down general fund $48,685.57, road use tax $4,933.97, public works building $52,080, water $12,609.27, sewer $9,479.63, risk management self-insurance $3,384.96, flex account $574, and agency funding $110. Any discussion? Roll call.
Stewart.
Aye.
Lees.
Aye.
West.
Aye.
Crowner.
Aye.
Raleigh.
Aye.
Motion carried. Go to committee reports. Finance, Rod, you got anything?
A couple quick little things. First thing, I think some of you probably got this. I meant to send a message to Kara earlier, and I think I sent it to all of you. Going to start trying to have 4th of July meetings starting next Wednesday at 6, opposite of the council meetings. I just thought this time works out pretty well, so we'll start doing those next week at 6 o'clock here at City Hall. The other thing I had is kind of a little petty thing, but I do want somebody to check into it for us. I hardly ever read these things, but I got this Friends of the Burlington Public Library little magazine little thing here. And next to the last page, they go into, next to the last page, summer reading update, and they go into this little story about thanking all the people that's helped them. And I noticed we're not on there.
We're not little?
I haven't looked at it yet.
I just talked, it might have been printed. She called me the other day and asked me if we were gonna
I mean, that was a long time ago we approved
right,
giving them
I
the pool
emailed
passes.
her, but she didn't remember getting it. She was gonna see why she didn't get the email.
Well, and we've all been left in and out of different things, and so it's kind of petty. Except I wouldn't want the public, and especially our own public that gets these things, to think that we didn't contribute this year. So I just wanted to make a point that we did contribute and gave them however many pool passes they wanted, and so on and so forth, regardless of whether or not we're on that list. Okay?
And what time is your meeting?
6.
Thank you.
Okay? That's all I got, sir. Thanks.
Anything else for finance? Anybody have anything? Okay, public safety. Oh, streets, I'm sorry. Streets. Rick, you got anything?
No, I don't. Randy, you go.
We've been doing some patching on streets again and starting on alleys right now. It'll be a slow process in the alleys because we've got some other stuff we're trying to keep up with, but when we get a chance, we will be in the alleys. And I don't know when a good time is to bring it up, but the middle school side has been all leveled out. The contractor finished it up yesterday, and Public Works took the last tree down on that property, so that site is starting to look pretty good and ready for auction whenever you folks decide to go that route.
I do have one thing that people said thanks for the street light on Autumn and Houston.
I already thanked Nancy for the
Yeah.
street light.
That's
So it was there.
cleaned
I haven't
up.
been by there at night, but it's one of the LED ones. I'll bet it's pretty bright.
Yeah, it's bright
I've been
now.
by there, it's nice.
Well, the other thing on here for streets is, Zach James is here from Regional Planning to give us an overview of the Greater Burlington Bicycle and Pedestrian Plan. Zach?
Thank you. So as mentioned, I'm Zach James. I'm with the Southeast Iowa Planning Commission, here to talk about the final draft overview of the Greater Burlington Bicycle Pedestrian Master Plan. Essentially what we're doing here is coming to the council here to give an overview and get any comment. The plan would be to come back in about a month or so. It's on our website and a notice out in the public to let them review it as well. As in the title, it's Greater Burlington, so this is kind of a combination. Burlington, West Burlington. I was at their council a little over a week ago, and also their Planning and Zoning Commission reviewed it at their meeting this Monday. So after I present today, a few weeks for you guys and the public to provide any final comment, and then hopefully come back either towards the end of this month or early May. Just a quick background, just to maybe kind of rehash why we put this together. It was about probably a little less than a year ago. Myself, Deb Mulch, the executive director of the YMCA, and myself came to talk about an initiative, Pioneering Healthy Communities. It's a grant that the YMCA received from the Center of Disease Control. Essentially, that was to organize a group of 10 local community members to focus on implementing healthy initiatives in the community. So we had to, unfortunately, take a trip to Washington, D.C. for a week and learn about all these different things that you can implement in your community. And we came back and worked on kind of a mission for our team, what our vision was, and some work plan goals. So one of the things being adopting some type of bicycle and pedestrian trails plan, and then actually working on it, implementing some projects. So that's kind of why the Planning Commission got involved and developed this document. And this kind of came after the fact, but I noted it last week, and I'll just note it again. The City of Burlington also recently updated their comprehensive plan. One of the action items in their plan was, this was after we had already started, but to develop a citywide bike and pedestrian plan, and then actually to develop a bike and pedestrian system. So it came afterwards, but it kind of supports our efforts and what we're already working on. So the master plan itself, there's really a few key components, kind of an intro, a background about what we consider bicycle pedestrian facilities, and I'll talk a little more about this, what's existing, what's the future system going to look like, and then kind of some priority projects, what's the initial focus on. So pages 2 through 5 really talk about kind of what we consider the bike and pedestrian system. So we're talking about sidewalks, trails or shared use paths, kind of like what's along West Avenue, Division Street, and then on-road bike facilities, bike lanes, or what's also known as SHAROs, which is a shared use lane, or just signed bike routes. There's several different things. So the first thing in the plan that we really wanted to do after kind of figuring out what is it that we're focusing on is to identify what do we have. And so if you look on page 9, there's a map that highlights the existing bike route that's signed through both communities, the existing shared use path that's really along West Avenue and Division Street, and then also the Flint River Trail kind of along the Burlington riverfront up through kind of the industrial area, what's existing, and then kind of what's planned in that as well. One thing I just wanted to briefly mention, if you go through the document, it kind of explains this, but page 10, one of the things we did was we wanted to evaluate to the existing, really it's called the bicycle level of service, but how friendly are streets for bicyclists. And so we picked out the existing signed bike route and then just some other major roads through both communities. And this is really based on the width of the street, how much traffic is on it, if there's curb and gutter, there's about 5-6 different factors. And so really most of the main streets, even those that are on the existing bike route, are really considered poor or very poor based on the information that goes into that calculation. So some of the things that we put in the proposal that we'll see later, and there's a map in the document, I won't reference it, but it kind of highlights some of the projects that we propose how that improves the level of service. And then the other thing is page 11 is the existing sidewalks in both communities. And this is we did this kind of on a rating, a good, average, and poor. And then also you can see white where there's just no sidewalks altogether. And the biggest thing that we took from this is there's a lot of sidewalks where there's residential in both communities. Really in Burlington where the old, the historic parts of the area, a lot of poor sidewalk. But the other thing is if you really look between the two communities kind of in the commercial areas along Roosevelt Avenue, Agency, some of those areas, I mean, there's no connection anywhere for pedestrians or bicyclists by sidewalk, on street facilities and those types of things. So once we kind of figured out what the existing system is, we wanted to come up with what's the future going to be or what do we need. And so a lot of the things we did were really based on a public input process. And so the things that we did were to form a steering committee, and this was kind of in the, before we even did the, all the data collection on what we have. That was 10 members. We had a council member here from West Burlington and Dan as well, and then some members from the Burlington City Council, Burlington City staff, and then some local bicyclists from bike clubs and just a couple professionals from the community. So they kind of helped guide everything that we put together in this document. But we also held 3 public meetings. We had one at the Burlington Library, one at the West Burlington Hospital, and then, it sounds kind of unusual, but we held one in Weaver with Bike Burlington. They do Wednesday night dinner rides, and so we caught them and went to them at one of the end of their rides and got some input from them as well. And what we did is, for all those public input meetings, we printed out really large maps and just said, draw on here what you think we need. Where would you like to see trails? Where do we need sidewalks? Is there roads that you like to bike on that need improvements? All those types of things. So we gathered about 10 to 15 maps that just had different proposals all over them, and we put them all together. And then we went out with a couple of our staff members, and then Adrian Holmes, who's an engineer for Shoemaker and Holland Associates. We've worked with them on a few other projects that are trail, sidewalk type projects. So he went out with us, and we looked at the map and evaluated and actually drove around both communities to really find out what do we need and what are the appropriate improvements along certain routes. And so that's where we got to page 17, and this is probably the most important part of the document, really. Page 17 and the following pages. It's just the proposed facility. This is everything that would make a safe, connected, usable system. It connects lots of destination points. It connects places of work. And it's a combination of several things. There's the sidewalks. There's the on-road bike routes with potential of some lane markings. As I mentioned Charros earlier, that could be a whole nother conversation. But bike lanes, a whole host of things. And then the next thing is page 19 through 21. We actually worked with our core committee group to kind of identify some priority projects. And really there's 5 that we came up with, and they all really focus on building on the Division Street West Avenue corridor that's already in place. It really kind of everything really extends from that. So some of the priorities are the crossing along Highway 61 and Roosevelt Avenue. We got a lot of comments from the public and a lot of bikers as well that's just not a very safe crossing and setup. And then extending from there, east kind of along West Avenue, connecting to a trail that goes behind Fairway, and then a trail along Mason Road that goes along by Edward Stone Middle School as well. And then on the west end of the existing trail along Gear Avenue, essentially from Division Street to Houston Street to the mall, where the existing signed bike route, at least I believe the existing route goes there, or it might be a proposed bike route to there.
What is you going to go on a bridge up and over the Gear there? What's the curlicue thing?
That's with our engineer, he gave a couple different ideas, and we just put in the one that he said would probably be the most ideal, but I don't know that it would actually happen. But essentially what he said is the right-of-way that's there, you could go on the north side of Gear Avenue and then go underneath the 34 bridge and kind of loop over.
Go underneath it.
Yep. Instead of crossing the street. That's something that would be, if we get to that point where we implement it, it'd probably take some examination and some, what are the different costs of different scenarios, but we just put in what he said would be probably the ideal scenario. And then the last proposed improvement is really utilizing an existing bike route that's marked with signs, and in certain places adding bike lanes, in some places adding SHAROs, or the shared roadway markings on the streets. Some places it might just be keeping the existing signs, and then a few spots actually adding some signs as well. And that's really the main things. There's also some sections in there that presents some design guides of how to design certain facilities. I don't know that that's overly important for this group. I think the biggest thing is kind of going through what's existing and what's proposed to be here in the future. So if you guys have any questions or comments, I'll take those now, or you can send me emails, give me phone calls. Again, probably over the next few weeks, hopefully, and then come back. Ask for an
That'll give us
approval
a
of
chance
this.
to look it over, and we can make some comments, and
Absolutely.
always email you. It's on the website, right?
It's on our front page of our website, yes.
You're,
And I believe I sent it to the city of Burlington, but I don't know if I guess I did send you a copy, so I don't know if it's something you could put on your website as well, maybe.
We got a link to the regional.
Or to our
plans.
page, yeah, either way.
Excuse me.
I'm looking at 21 there, because I'm more concerned, of course, with West Burlington,
Sure.
anywhere else, and if I'm reading your legend right, the red is a bike lane on existing bike route, so that's in the street. You're not asking us to try to buy mall property for,
Which one is that?
I'm on page 21, along Gear Avenue,
Mm-hmm.
on the east side of Gear Avenue, north of Highway 34. You got your red lines going in front of the mall.
I think that would be an off-road. Maybe I've got
Would be,
everything along Gear was proposed off-road trail.
If you remember when we
off-trails path.
put the mall road in, we put ramps for a future sidewalk when we built those in to build a sidewalk in front of the mall. Randy was thinking ahead when we did that, and we could do that at any point. when we
I'll have to
decide
look at that. Maybe I used the colors wrong or something, but maybe I need to modify that.
no, that's all right.
Well, didn't we have that brought up last time of going over the overpass? It was $50,000 to $60,000 that the city would have to pay, which I really can't understand why the city would have to now because of the overpass over on Roosevelt, that the state had put it in because there was a school there and they had to make a sidewalk to be able to go to that school. So I can't understand why the overpass here, because we have people that live in the apartments that go to college that wouldn't need a bicycle trail going to SCC, besides the people that live on Agency Street that go to the West Burlington High School to be able to have a way to get to the high school. So the state should be involved in that.
There's already an existing sidewalk on that overpass.
It's just on the opposite
On the
side.
one on
It's
Gear
just a very,
Avenue.
yeah, just a very
Yes.
narrow one.
Yes.
It's,
There's only, I believe there's only one overpass that doesn't have sidewalks, and that's the one on Roosevelt.
Not on the, not towards the
I
road,
think
but
they
on the
just
other.
put some on there, didn't they? Or you, on 34.
34, yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't,
Because they redesigned that one over there by Roosevelt.
the railroad one,
Yeah, the one over by the animal shelter, yeah.
yeah.
Because of the school being built there.
How many years ago was that we looked at this before? Before Gifford, I think, maybe.
More than 7.
Yeah. We talked about trying to get from Mount Pleasant Street to Division Street. And tried to figure out the logistics of that and the freeway and the mall and the car dealerships and the college and the,
I've been here for 8 years, and I think because we have our regional, well, it used to be regional enhancements, it's a different name now, but I believe there was some money that was even before I started that was for,
Yeah, we turned
Or
back a
something along your
$400,000 grant
yeah.
that we had for
I think
that.
I remember reading some of that in our files. That was at least 8 years ago.
That time, it didn't have that option, which was it's kinda unique.
No, we
Think
didn't.
about going underneath it instead of, because we were talking about, the big hangup was, how do you go from an 8-foot sidewalk back down to a 3-foot sidewalk that's going over the freeway? Because they didn't want to improve the bridge.
Yep.
And putting one of those pedestrian bridges over the freeway, that was gonna take a lot more than $400,000
Yeah.
at the time, so.
So what's next? You'll be back to talk to us about what?
Probably come back in a month if, we'll make any changes if I get a few comments, but come back for some type of, I don't know if it's an adoption or an approval.
Approval
or
of the
something.
plan.
Yeah, just support.
That
the
normally
document, but
doesn't
it's-
tie you into doing anything,
No,
just
it's
that you
no
approve of the
funding
plan.
commitment, but
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks for taking time tonight, Zach. Anything else for streets? Public safety.
I don't have anything.
I just have one thing. Interviews took place today for an opening on the Des Moines County Tactical Response Unit, and we have 2 officers going for that, Officer Latron Covert and Officer Nathan Dunham. West Burlington's never participated in this program, and if the West Burlington officer's chosen for that position, the wealth of training they'd bring back to the department would benefit all the officers. I don't know if you recall, we talked about that in January, about joining the TAC team, and this is the first start process of getting somebody on board since they have an opening.
Good.
Anything else?
That's it.
Chief?
Deary Brothers, all the interior walls are up, all electrical's been run, all the plumbing's been run, and the bracing for the ADA requirements are in. They're gonna start sheet rocking tomorrow, and in about 3 days, the inside showroom's gonna look completely different from what it does today. Ortho rehab area has been invaded by numerous electricians. They're pulling wires, trying to get everything wired in so they can start their sheet rock efforts, which should start maybe in another week. We have one court case hearing later this month on a city ordinance violation, and I'm in the process of putting another one together and file it fairly soon. We're seeing an increase of city ordinance violations now. The people are getting outside and they're turning each other in. Rental inspections are ongoing and they're also being scheduled. And I'm in the process of looking at 3 different apartment complexes under consideration in the city. One set of plans I've seen, and they're out to get the code review done and the architect stamp on them before submitting them back. Another one, the architect him and I are working on a plot plan to figure out how we're gonna set the buildings and the street location and access for the fire department. And the third one is moving forward if they can get the land purchased. That's the only thing that they're lacking, but they're in negotiations, and at that point, we'll start the plot planning on it also. And on the fire side, I'll get the quarterly reports out hopefully this week. That's all I got.
Do we have anything for the chiefs? Utilities, Carol?
I don't have anything for utilities, but I did want to say we're having our first Pink Heels meeting this Saturday morning at 10:30 at the fire station. Everyone's welcome to attend. Randy, do you have anything for?
No, I don't have anything tonight.
Do we have anything for utilities?
The only thing is if you could turn off this fan that's blowing on me right up here, it'd be wonderful.
They're blowing from behind you. Sanitation.
I don't have anything, Randy?
The only thing I have is, we talked today at staff about spring cleanup, and we're gonna have spring cleanup on May 15th unless council has an objection. Originally, I was thinking about May 8th, but Kelly wants to get a newsletter out, so by going at May 15th, it gives gives her a little bit extra time.
So if we put everything out about May 1st, it should be all gone by the 15th, and we won't have to.
See stuff out there tomorrow.
Yeah.
I have something that needs to go out there.
May 15th, all right with everybody?
Yeah.
It's fine.
Just gonna be a one-day deal, or just?
Well, it might take a couple days.
Couple
We're
days
gonna
to get
do
it
the
on.
whole city.
I just don't want people to put out something on May 20th for you.
Right.
So have it out there on the 15th.
Needs to be out by 7 o'clock on the 15th.
In your article, Kelly, if you could suggest that they wait till at least Monday to put it out, it would be helpful. So that Mother's Day weekend, we don't have garbage sitting all up and down our streets.
And give the scavengers only 2 days.
I know. I know. I'd still give them 3 days, 2 days.
A lot of Mother Day's gifts aren't gonna be given out this year.
That's what mothers do. They order stuff to be cleaned out. Hauled out.
It's a Mother's Day gift.
Anything else for sanitation? There's staff report. Kelly, got anything?
No.
Okay. Leslie?
No.
All righty. This time I'll open the floor up to anyone wishing to address the council on matters that are not on the agenda. Please come to the podium, and if you have anything, we'll go to new business. Item number 1 is consider reappointing Ringo Covert to serve on the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Motion approved.
Support.
Ringo snuck in. You had no choice, did you? There's a motion with
Give him any
support.
time to say anything negative.
Yeah. Any discussion? Roll call.
Aye.
Aye.
Lees, West,
Aye.
Crowner,
Aye.
Raleigh,
Aye.
Stewart. Aye.
Are you searching for
Motion
somebody
carried.
then to replace Harmon?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
we have been.
Thank you, Ringo.
Yes, thank you. Item number 2 is consider payment Snyder Associates for engineering services in the amount of $52,080 for the design work on the Public Works building.
Motion to approve.
Or
Motion with support. Any discussion? Roll call.
West,
Aye.
Crowner,
Aye.
Raleigh,
Aye.
Stewart. Aye. Lees.
Aye.
Motion carried. Item number 3 is consider purchase of elliptical training machine for a wellness program in the amount of $3,000.
Looks like a nice one.
Got 3,000 budgeted.
Yep.
Looks like you should have told them 2,500.
Yeah.
Well, Leslie told Dan and I this morning that we had like 450 people that signed in through downstairs
Wow.
since the first,
Yeah.
since the beginning of the year, so it's being used.
Actually, that one come in a little over,
People that signed in.
a little over 3,000, and Ringo went out and twisted some arms and got it down to.
I know.
the price,
Yeah,
so.
it's just interesting that we had 3,000 budgeted and you was able to buy one for 3,000.
It was actually over that. We got a good deal.
Yeah, I know. It's all on here. It shows it's 4,100 and we got it for 3,000.
We also have 2,500 budgeted for next year, but we quoted a, what do you call that thing? Cable crossover, that a lot of the employees have had a big interest in. We were gonna see about getting that in July, and then we can incorporate that. And Jamie, that does our wellness program, said that she'd do a training session on that, and then on employees can go on that also. So we've seen that come across.
Good.
Leslie, of that list you got there, how many different people approximately? Just approximately.
A lot less.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have ones that consistently go, like Al, Ringo, Katie goes downstairs, Crooks.
50, 40,
There's firefighters that go down there all the
I'd
time.
say probably
32.
50.
32, yeah, 50, yeah. Good.
Motion to approve.
Support.
Motion with support.
You gonna say something, Ringo?
I was just gonna say that, the Biggles have really supported us in their technical advice and were responsive to when we need them very quickly, and we really benefit from doing this for us. Make sure that the council is aware of that.
Good people.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I should have said roll call.
Yeah, whatever.
We just follow along, Mayor. You say we just gotta.
That's all right, I got it.
Heard Wes make the motion, but I didn't hear a second.
Teresa.
Trace seconded it. Roll call then.
Crowner,
Aye.
Raleigh,
Aye.
Stewart.
Aye.
Lees,
Aye.
West.
Motion carried. Item number 4 is to consider SCBA testing for the fire department air packs in the amount of $190 from MES Equipment.
Motion approved.
Support.
Motion with support. Any discussion? Roll call.
Raleigh,
Aye.
Stewart. Aye. Lees,
Aye.
West.
Aye.
Crowner.
Aye.
Motion carried. Item number 5 is to consider accepting the 2012 Safer Grant from FEMA, the amount of $80,150.
Motion approved.
Support.
Motion with support. Any discussion? Roll call.
Stewart. Aye. Lees,
Aye.
West.
Aye.
Crowner.
Aye.
Raleigh.
I have to apologize, I haven't read it yet, I had to say nay.
I'm sorry.
Haven't read it yet.
Need vote though?
Did you vote?
Nay. I wrote nay.
Motion carried. Any old business? None. Don't have any inquiries. Anyone wishing to address the council matters we did discuss or didn't discuss tonight? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. We will hold a work session here right after the meeting on swimming pool.
5-minute break.
2.5.